Morning Majlis, talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
Hello, welcome back onto the Morning Majlis, and we're talking about vaccines once again. The UAE says it seeks to vaccinate more than half of its population before the end of March, betting that such a rapid rollout will definitely stem and reverse the recent surge in the number of coronavirus infections. And this will definitely allow our economy to avoid the lockdowns, for example, and the closures that have paralyzed much of Europe and the U.S., as we have noted recently. But another concern, or the current concern, is which vaccine do we take? Everyone has their own theory on vaccines. Do we take the Sinopharm one? Do we take the Pfizer one? Do we just wait for a third vaccine to come in and try it out as well? For example, the AstraZeneca one, because it does work differently than the Pfizer one and the Sinopharm one. Vaccines from the West, Russia, China, or none at all? That dilemma faces nations not just here, but mostly in southeastern Europe, where coronavirus vaccination campaigns are off to a very, very slow start, overshadowed by heated political debates and conspiracy theories as well. Countries such as the Czech Republic, Serbia, Bosnia, Romania, and Bulgaria, vaccine skeptics have included former presidents and even some doctors. For example, Serbian tennis champion Novak Djokovic was among those who said he did not want to be forced to get inoculated or vaccinated. False beliefs that the coronavirus is a hoax or that vaccines would inject microchips into people who spread or have spread in the countries that were formerly under harsh, for example, communist rule. Those who once routinely underwent mass inoculations are deeply split over whether to get the vaccinations at all. So
my question to these people who are thinking, oh, there's going to be microchips being installed.
Where's the microchip?
Like, okay, apart from the microchip.
We're getting the vaccine. Where is the microchip?
No, there are ways of doing it. Yes, there's different syringe for it as well, for example. But now, big question is, why do you carry a credit card? Why do you carry a mobile phone? If you're so worried about the microchip, you're being detected and tracked everywhere you go. Every transaction you make, every time you receive a bank statement, every single time you log on to Google, every time you look for Google Maps, you are sharing your data.
But I understand the concern about microchips in particular, because it has been said, of course, it's a conspiracy theory, or you don't know. We don't know, but they're saying apparently some rumors have come out that microchips they'll allow people who control those microchips to control your blood pressure, your a lot of levels, health levels.
How is my blood pressure going to benefit some hacker sat in Chile or Venezuela, wherever he is, you know?
We're talking about more political agendas here. We're not talking about
That's the thing, I think, in a lot of places.
Theories. Political theories of a lot of people.
Yeah, I've been reading about this quite a bit in France as well. President Emmanuel Macron, for instance, reportedly furious at the skepticism around vaccines, says it greatly hampered their vaccination drive. This is reportedly an issue in the United States as well. And there are many reasons why people are skeptical of vaccines around the world. So for one, there's the notion, and look, there are some YouTube videos with hundreds of thousands of views, so-called documentaries claiming that COVID-19 was fabricated by governments and elites. Those ideas appeal to certain people's sensibilities, people who have a negative view of their government, who are on the extremes in the political aisle. They eat this stuff up. And then you also have people who are saying, I'm concerned about the safety of the vaccine. This was created in less than a year. I don't know if this is safe or not. But to respond to that and to refute that, health regulators, even here in the UAE, they're keen to stress that vaccines have undergone full clinical trial processes. No corners have been cut, and the vaccines have been proven to be safe and effective. But everybody's got a different reason about it, and a great deal of that comes from disinformation sort of making its way in, whether via Facebook, WhatsApp, things spreading, people talking, and there's a general sense of anxiety. And also the fact that the vaccines were developed so quickly doesn't leave a lot of time for people to digest everything very properly as well. But certainly a common complaint around the world is the surge in coronavirus cases is being pretty much accelerated because people are not willing to take these vaccines in the first place. And it doesn't help that you have celebrities hopping on the fray as well. Tennis player Novak Djokovic, for instance, saying he would never take a vaccine.
Djokovic was diagnosed with COVID-19. He hosted a tournament, a charity tournament in Serbia, and then was contracted the virus from there. So now he's naturally, let's say, inoculated.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But no, his argument of being forced to take the vaccine, I understand. It could be a case of civil liberty. Here we're encouraging, we're not making it mandatory for people to, we're not forcing people to take the vaccines. Yes, we are encouraging them with changing resolutions and regulations. And let's say, for example, here in Sharjah Private Education Authority, workers who are not vaccinated who work under the umbrella of the SPEA, then they need to do PCR tests every 14 days at their own expense. And then it's down to them. It's their personal choice. So we do have that. The other thing is, now there's a lot of question marks over how fast they were rolled out. Back when the vaccines weren't there and the virus was spreading and the pandemic was at its peak, human nature was, when will the vaccine come out so that this is all of this is done and then we move back to a normal life. Now, the governments have worked for it. The pharmaceutical firms have been working for the pandemic. And we put this question to G42 Healthcare as well. So how quickly can you do it? Their response was, look, it's not just one disease. It's a pandemic. So it took the entire focus. Everything was expedited. Funding, whenever there was funding required, funding was provided. Because normally for clinical trials for certain other medications, you'd go through a process. You prove it to the medical committee. Medical committee will take 21 working days to respond. Then it will go to the funding department. They'll take it a while. They'll take their own sweet time. Insurances, etc. It takes a long time. Here we were in emergency mode. We need the vaccine out as soon as we can so we can get our economies back. And yes, everything was heightened. Everything was in a bigger scale. Other aspect is Sinopharm was tried and tested in the United Arab Emirates. We're a country that built massive ports. We're the country who has built the world's tallest tower in 3 to 4 years. Here we can get things done. Give the Burj Khalifa project to other countries across the globe. It will take you decades in getting approvals and getting things done. So on that front, on that note, maybe it's down to how well we organized these trials and how quickly we got things done and approved. And the vaccine's out there. And so far, let's have a look at the figures from yesterday.
Yeah.
Over 80,000 people had been vaccinated in the United Arab Emirates. 84,852 people received the vaccine yesterday in the United Arab Emirates. Just goes to show how well we are organizing and coordinating this big fight against the spread of COVID-19. Free vaccines, multiple health centers, not even just one or two, multiple.
Yeah, absolutely. And people are definitely aware here that the COVID-19 vaccination is critical to curbing this thing as well. If we lag behind as a society and we don't get vaccinated, then human suffering will continue indefinitely. So the stakes are high and it's important to tackle the misinformation. And it's great to see people, not just government leaders and doctors, but people, friends, your boss, people talking about or encouraging their friends and loved ones to take the vaccine as well. They're doing it out of concern and they're citing information that's been scientifically studied as well. So it's great to see the reception to the vaccine drive here in the country. And it's not like we're in France or anything where there's a struggle to get that idea to the public.
Yep, exactly. And if you're worried about those microchips, come on, guys. If you own a smartphone, you're being tracked. Well, that's the end of story.
Yeah.
If you drive a car, you've registered your car, you've paid your road tax and road fees, whichever part of the world you're doing, you're being tracked. Come on. Speed cameras, they're looking at you. Come on. So it's fine. So there's no need to be very, very skeptic and then pick up on why WhatsApp is tracking you or whoever is tracking you. You share data everywhere you go, plain and simple. And we share data here on the airways so that we can keep you entertained. And we'd love to keep you entertained, love to keep you informed. We'd love to get your thoughts and opinions on board as well. So do text us on 4215 with your name, and we'd love to get your thoughts on the show and like to give you a bit of a shout out as well. For now, we'll take a bit of a breather because we've been talking for a long time. We do need to fit in our musical plans, and then when we do return, we'll do a quick wrap up on what's happening in Uganda. Stay tuned. This is the Morning Majlis on Pulse 95.
This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis.
It's the Morning Majlis.
Everybody, good morning. Welcome back to the program. And we're talking about what is set to happen in the United States with U.S. President-elect Joe Biden soon taking office. And reportedly, details are emerging that he will enact a raft of executive orders. Particularly, he is set to repeal a controversial travel ban on mostly Muslim-majority countries.
That's right. On Wednesday, following his inauguration, Biden apparently will end Trump's restriction on immigration to the U.S. from some Muslim-majority countries, move to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord, and also mandate mask wearing on federal property and during interstate travel. Those are just among roughly a dozen actions Biden will take on his first day in the White House. And that is according to his incoming chief of staff, Ron Klain. Other actions include extending the pause on student loan payments or repayments and measures to prevent evictions and foreclosures for those struggling during the pandemic. According to Klain, he's saying these executive actions will deliver relief to the millions of Americans that are struggling in the face of these crises. President-elect Biden will take action not just to reverse the gravest damages of the Trump administration, but also to start moving our country forward. So Klain said that full achievement of Biden's goals would require Congress to act, including on the $1.9 trillion virus relief bill he outlined just last Thursday. Biden will also propose a comprehensive immigration reform bill on his first day in office, according to Klain.
Yep, exciting times. I think, what is it, the 18th of January right now, and 20th is not that far away at all. Yes, the U.S. politics was dominated by story of Trump impeachment and the U.S. Capitol invasion or armed rebellion. We are moving away from that at the moment, and it just it goes to show that there's going to be a lot of focus on what Biden is going to be doing. He's expected to approve a lot of day one promises and execute them over the following 9 days after the inauguration. Measures include COVID-19 testing, directing the government to favor American-made goods when it makes purchases, and it's going to be what they say is President-elect Joe Biden is assuming the presidency in a moment of profound crisis for our nation.
Yeah, and it's going to be an unprecedented inauguration as well because President Trump is not going to be there. So that's going to be the first time, a fundamental break from 150 years of tradition. Now, the very platform that Biden will stand on during his inauguration, this is the same place where 2 weeks ago a mob of insurrectionists seeking to overturn the results of his election were present as well. So it's going to be quite the speech. A lot of people are going to keep their eyes on it as well. And it's going to be a symbolic sort of signaling for where that country is heading and the global role that it is also set to play as well. And reportedly, the theme will be America United.
Yep. Build back better. That was the tagline that he had started his campaign with. And that is going to be the key area of focus when he does assume the presidency, and we will keep a close.
And apparently, Lady Gaga and Jennifer Lopez, they will perform at his inauguration. Yeah, they'll be exciting.
But speaking of artists as well, because Trump, it's his last day of office, so everyone's looking at who he's going to pardon, and reportedly he's considering pardoning Lil Wayne and Kodak Black, two hip-hop artists, very popular. So that's like a lot of fans are talking about this at the moment. So just a little news update.
It's an important news update, all about the musical acts and artists being supported by the political elites. Stay with us on the Morning Majlis. We up next will be talking about the developments surrounding the Arabic Language Academy here in the Emirate of Sharjah and what their plans are for the term ahead. We'll keep you posted, so do stay tuned to Pulse 95. If you'd like to get involved and like to share your opinions, then you can drop us a text on 4215 and share your thoughts and opinions. We'll give you an appropriate shout out on the airwaves. This is the Morning Majlis on Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
Between local lines. Notes from the Emirate.
Well, after-school programs in which literacy is a component offer the potential to provide Arabic language learners with much-needed support, not just academically, but socially and culturally as well. It is in line with this goal in mind that the Arabic Language Academy in Sharjah established its Arabic Language Center as a leading hub for teaching the Arabic language to non-native speakers from all around the world. So through its efforts to promote Arabic among non-Arabs, ALA seems to position Arabic as a global language and emphasize its instrumental role in furthering the Emirates' cultural project. Since its inception back in 2018, the ALA's Arabic Language Center has celebrated the graduation of more than 100 students from countries like the Philippines, India, Pakistan, the UK, including Scotland and England, and the US as well, Germany, China, Russia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, and South Korea. And that's just to mention a few.
Yeah, this center does a lot of great work. They aim to converge cultures, promote the beauty and aesthetics of the Arab language, and showcase its eloquence by working on 4 key skills: reading, writing, speaking, and listening, as well as the nuances of pronunciation for non-native speakers, which can be quite difficult. Arabic has some unique sounds to it. This center also seeks to further cross-cultural communication and boost people's integration and assimilation to the UAE's community.
Yeah, in order to reach the largest number of people, the courses have been structured to target learners at various levels of competence, starting with the beginner level course. Then you have the intermediate course, is aimed at learners who can form sentences and can converse in simple Arabic. Then you have the advanced level course. It targets learners who can speak almost fluently and desire to advance their knowledge of the Arabic language across the 4 skill areas of reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Now, students are enrolled in a 45-hour course taken across 10 weeks, comprising 30 lessons of 90 minutes each. On completing each level, students will sit for an evaluation examination. And based on the results, they either move to a higher level or repeat the same level. So at the end of the course, the students are presented a certificate of completion.
It's pretty good, as I say. Students are enrolled in a 45-hour course taken across 10 weeks, comprising 30 lessons of 90 minutes each. On completing each level, students will sit for an evaluation examination, and based on the results, they either move to a higher level or repeat the same level. Very good. And
then we have the 4 successful courses after that.
Yeah.
4 successful batches. They have actually completed the courses offered by the center so far.
Cool.
As a success story.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We got to try this out, to be honest. This is something that we need to bring them here on the show to discuss further, and maybe give us some dedicated lessons, because they are giving special courses for students at AUS, non-Arab students, and they've received 22 students from the Hankook University of Foreign Studies who are hosted here in Sharjah for a month-long immersive course last January. Students had the unique opportunity to experience Arabic language and culture and explore the authentic customs and traditions of Emirati society. Look, we'll get involved with the team, and we'll ask them to come on the show. If you'd like us, listeners out there, if you'd like to know a little bit more about this Arabic language program, courtesy of Arabic Language Academy, and if you'd like to be involved and would like to take part, and how you can do it, whether it's going to be remote learning, whether it's going to be in-person learning, or we can ask you those questions. You can tweet us at Pulse 95 Radio, #AskMajlis.
Or we can even ask some of the employees here in Sharjah Broadcasting Authority, because it seems to be very popular amongst employees of government entities such as SBA and also Sharjah Performing Arts Academy, given its flexible timings offered by the center. But the classes for the 5th course will commence this month, and it will be offered free of cost. Center calls on students, employees, and those who are interested in joining the center's upcoming courses to send their letters of interest to registration at alashj.ae. That's registration at ALA Sharjah or shj.ae.
Amazing.
Yep.
Brilliant. Well, this is how we're going to do it. Hopefully it's all in online, so that we can see how things can work accordingly. So let's get involved, and we shall keep you posted with all things new offerings. And if it's popular with Sharjah Broadcasting Authority, then I'm going to sign up right now. Why not? Well, stay with us on the Morning Majlis. We shall return right after the news headlines, and we will focus a little bit more on what's happening with a company called Deliveroo, as well as Nepalese climbers summiting the K2. Stay with us on the Morning Majlis.
Pulse 95.
The Morning Majlis, talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
This is Pulse 95, and very warm welcome back onto the program. Now, let's start talking about the big development surrounding Deliveroo, a $7 billion company now after the latest round of funding. The UK-based company raised more than $180 million from existing investors led by Durable Capital Partners and Fidelity Management and Research Company, and it did not provide a breakdown of each investor's contribution to the new round, but Will Shu, founder and chief executive of Deliveroo, said this investment will help us to continue to innovate, developing new tech tools to support restaurants, to provide riders with more work, and to extend choice for customers. We are really pleased our shareholders see the opportunity and growth potential ahead of us. Now, back when I was growing up, when we were, let's go to 2000s, 2010s, we didn't expect delivery companies to be the big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was a student in the UK, we had this big company, shout out to all of you who went to the UK, Just Eat, and it was just a website where you can order food, and that helps you connect to the restaurant, and the restaurant will send their own drivers to send the food. So it was just a connecting platform for that. Uber Uber Eats and Deliveroo and what we see in other major chains in the United Arab Emirates, they've now started providing riders, and they provided their own riders. And yes, they do take a big cut from the restaurants. Let's not forget that. Yeah, now this business model has just escalated that now a lot of people just can't live without it.
Absolutely. And actually, this completed financing round comes as the firm eyes a potential initial public offering. Online food delivery businesses have seen an uptick in demand globally during the COVID-19 pandemic, especially as customers ordered more meals from home during the lockdown measures and shop closures and all of that. But going back to Deliveroo, it operates in 800 towns and cities all across 12 markets, including the UAE, Kuwait, Australia, Belgium, France, Hong Kong, Italy, Ireland, Netherlands, Singapore, Spain, and also the UK, obviously. And it was established back in 2013. The London-based startup has more than 2,000 employees in offices around the world, and its network spans 140,000 restaurants and 110,000 riders globally.
Yeah, Deliveroo is pretty big as well. And now that they've generated all this money, they said they're going to spend this cash on, quote, new tech tools to support restaurants. They said they would provide riders with more work and extend choices for customers. This is according to Shu, the chief executive at Deliveroo. He said he's very pleased about the opportunity. Also spoke about the company's plans to expand a network of delivery-only kitchen sites. They're called dark kitchens, and said Deliveroo would branch into grocery delivery as well, subscription services, and allowing more restaurants to take orders via their own websites. The thing about Deliveroo as well is it's going to continue. Aside from continuing to invest further into its businesses, it's expected to see its orders continue to rise. Last week, for instance, one of the Deliveroo rival, Just Eat in the United Kingdom, they said their orders jumped 400% in the final 3 months of 2020 as COVID-19 restrictions kept people at home. So certainly a big market for this. And we're all gearing up for the initial public offering of Deliveroo. No date has been announced, but Shu has confirmed that the company is working on plans for that as well. So people could now buy stocks for Deliveroo.
Oh, wow. That'd be great. That'd be a great way to buy the stocks and shares, because this food industry always at the top, never does really falter away.
Never dies.
No. Am I the only one who is still the very traditional type that would go out for his own food? Like, if I want to get something from outside, I'd either eat out or I'd go and pick it up as opposed to getting delivered to my home. I just don't like deliveries.
If it's a nice dine-in place, I would prefer going to dine in.
Right,
but if
it's like a casual weekday food. Just can't be bothered cooking. I want to go get something from outside.
Depends on the situation.
I
really.
mean, for me, I'm outside. I got off work. I'm driving around. I could go anywhere, do anything. I like going to restaurants, picking food up and stuff. If I'm at home and it's 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and I'm about to sleep, I'll just order.
Leaving. Plus, my parking space.
Get it here real quick.
Parking space an issue. Parking space for sure.
Always thinking about that.
Yeah, I'd drive down to my favourite area in Moelia and then just pick it up and pick up whatever I can. Different types of cuisine on offer in our dedicated
best restaurants there.
Yeah, the dedicated food streets of the Emirate of Sharjah. Definitely go down there. Well, stay with us on the Morning Majlis. There's lots to explore and lots to get through. We'll be back again after the world of business news headlines. We'll continue the discussions from there on, and it is going to be a discussion focusing on exposure. Photography is back again. Stay with us. This is the Morning Majlis on Pulse 95.
This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis.
Hello, welcome back onto the Morning Majlis, and big story that we're going to be talking about is the world of cricket, the world of UFC, and the world of tennis. 72 Australian Open players are now confined to the hotel rooms after a positive coronavirus test resulted in a third flight bound for the tournament. And 25 players, though, thought to be mostly by qualifiers on board the flight from to Melbourne, must isolate in their room for 14 days. Heather Watson is one of the 47 players who are already quarantining, and some are frustrated by the confinement. Tournament organisers said the players were already in quarantine hotels. And the passenger is not a member of the playing contingent and had tested negative before the flight, but tested positive after they landed in Melbourne. It's frustrating. The world of sport has to go through this bit of a messy situation. Organisers said the rules were clear and the event would begin as planned on the 8th of February, and that will remain the situation for now. Looking at the world of cricket, Australia are now leading by 292 runs as live cricket has resumed after a bit of a rain delay. This is day 4. And if Australia set a decent target, they could be bowled out by now. Both teams have a good chance of winning this. It's still hanging in the balance. There's going to be good days of cricket to look forward to today and tomorrow for the decider test match between the two sides. But in the world of UFC...
In the world of football first.
Okay.
Let's do that.
All right, let's do that. Lionel Messi was sent off for the first time playing for Barcelona as Atletico Bilbao stunned the Catalans to win the Spanish Super Cup on Sunday in a dramatic final, finishing 3-2 after extra time. Now, moments actually before Bilbao's momentous triumph was confirmed, Messi threw an arm at Villa Libre, who had earlier scored a 90th minute equalizer in normal time to deny Barca victory. Now, Griezmann's double looked to have sealed the trophy, but Villalibre intervened before Inaki Williams' fabulous strike 3 minutes into extra time proved actually decisive. Now, Messi shook off a thigh problem to start in Seville and was required to play all 120 minutes as Barcelona tried to take the game to penalties. Instead, he lost his temper at the end of this combative contest, reacting to a late challenge from Villalibre by chasing and raising his hand to his opponent. It meant his first red card in 753 appearances for Barcelona, to go with his 2 reds for Argentina back in 2005 and 2019.
Plus,
angry Messi.
Yeah, that's an interesting story as well. Messi always caught up. We're going to be talking about the UFC as well, because there's a slew of events taking place in the capital, Abu Dhabi. And the big one The notable one is going to be UFC 257. This is the mixed martial arts event set to take place in Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi. And it's going to see Conor McGregor face off against Dustin Poirier in the lightweight division. Conor McGregor's name has transcended mixed martial arts. He's pretty much a celebrity. He's been posting on social media. A lot of people in the country are talking about what he's done and what he's set to do. He's known for his brash nature and trash talking. What's interesting about this story is Khabib Nurmagomedov, who was the lightweight champion and had abruptly announced his retirement back in UFC 254, is rumored to keep an eye out for this particular fight because depending on the outcome, UFC chief Dana White said he might come out of retirement. He said Nurmagomedov made the decision in a rash manner. He had gone through a lot at the time. His father had passed away. He had been away from his family for quite some time, got injured while he was training. So he was going through a lot of emotions when he made that decision. But once you're a fighter and when you're that young and still on top of the game, you're probably going to come back. So that's what a lot of people are eyeing as well.
Yep, so much to look forward to on that as well. And shout out to Omar Adouri. He's the host of our halftime show, dedicated sports show on the on Pulse 95 network. It's going to be Arsenal versus Newcastle tonight, midnight. It is Omar Adouri's side versus my side, Newcastle. And if you'd like to back the Magpies, do text us on 4215. If you want to back Arsenal, don't text us at all. Don't worry about it. And yeah, it's going to be a good fun. You can maybe DM Omar Adouri if you're backing Arsenal for sure, but do drop us a text on 4215 if you are going to be siding with the Tyneside Newcastle. Newcastle, I didn't have the best of all starts. This season has been quite horrific, and they did lose to Sheffield United last week. Arsenal, however, were held to a goalless draw by Crystal Palace. Looking at the standings, Crystal Palace is ranked higher than Newcastle. Gonna give you that. No, well, Omar Adouri. Tonight is going to be the night when we will be roaring away the lads. The Gunners will have their cannons de-smoked. Maybe.
Think so?
Think so. Omar Adouri, it's going to be an interesting match-up tonight. I'm sure I'll see you boxing tonight, but I'm sure we'll be glued to the screens at midnight today to watch Newcastle United versus Arsenal. And that's going to be a fun contest tonight for Premier League. So much to look forward to. For now, Morning Majlis shall be heading off, blow off some steam, as you say, and we will be back again tomorrow morning, bright and early, and celebrating Newcastle's win over Arsenal tonight, and that would be the plan for tomorrow. Stay with us on Pulse 95, lots of musical entertainment to keep you motivated. If you'd like to catch up with most of our discussions, Apple Podcast, SoundCloud and Spotify it is, plus the visual Majlis on YouTube.
Subscribe to our channel at Pulse 95 Radio. We're live as well and we upload daily on that channel. Thank you all for tuning in to today's show and stay tuned to Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of The Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.
Pulse.